So what blocks you from reaching your personal, family, or professional goals? What stops you from becoming a better person, a better spouse, a better family member, a better employee? You see, many of us make resolutions and goals only to stall out after a few weeks. Why? Every single one of us is in a similar situation, right? We're all on the rung of a ladder, and we have opportunities to take the next step. No one has arrived. No one is done growing. We all have the chance to improve ourselves, to improve our relationships, to improve our financial positions, to improve our health, to improve our significance in the world. But climbing the ladder, taking those next steps is tough. And so we need a scheme for reaching our goals, some strategy or some model to help us think through what we need to make those important next steps. We need a scheme for pushing past the obstacles and the resistance and to progress towards the life that you want. Most of my life I've spent helping people reach important goals and taking the steps they want. Let me help you today by offering you a very practical and helpful scheme for making progress. For the sake of illustration, let's say you have the goal to be a better spouse. You could use any goal. You could be a better parent, a better manager, better sports coach, a better gardener, lose weight, add to your retirement account, whatever the goal is. But for today, let's just use the illustration that you want to be a better spouse. I want to show that there's 3 essential elements to the scheme for reaching our goals. You ready? The first important element, essential element, is skills. If we lack the skills or the behaviors or the actions needed, we'll never reach the goal. Every goal you create will have a set of skills or behaviors or actions that are needed to be gained or to be improved to accomplish that goal. For example, if you want to become a better spouse, then you're going to have to develop some important skills, communication skills, seeing and meeting your spouse's needs, relational skills, task skills, house maintenance, budgeting, cooking, whatever. The first element I want you to see that we need to reach important goals is the element of skills. The second element that each of us needs to reach important personal, family, or professional goals is the element of knowledge. Oftentimes, we don't make progress we want simply because we don't fully understand the area in which we're trying to grow or the related principles to that area. Many goals are impossible simply because the person just doesn't understand the area well enough. An important part of taking your next steps in some particular area is to know that area, to grow in your knowledge and your understanding. If you want to become a better spouse, then you might want to explore some of the related information about that area. Find answers to important questions like, what are the goals of being a good spouse? What's really expected from a good spouse? How will you measure your success or your failure? What are the best, wisest strategies that are out there for reaching the goals of being a good and better spouse? Listen, there's thousands of books and millions of articles on the internet filled with information. You don't know it all yet. So go learn and add to your knowledge. This is true for parenting or losing weight or marketing or communication. But to reach any goal, you've got to have growing knowledge. All right, so far we've talked about skills and knowledge, but there's a third element, probably the toughest one, but in my estimation, probably the most important one, and that is the element of motivation. Motivation. I've seen many people set goals and not reach them simply because they just didn't want it bad enough. You see, you can have all the skills you want and all the knowledge and still fail at reaching a goal simply because you don't believe it's significant enough. Motivation is that desire or that drive to do something, to accomplish something. So, for example, if you want to be a better spouse, yes, you got to acquire the knowledge, and yes, you have to develop the skills, but you also have to cultivate a desire, a drive to be a better spouse. How badly do you really want to reach that goal? How badly do you want to enjoy the benefits of being a better spouse? How badly do you want to avoid the negative consequences of not growing? See, there's a well-known principle in human behavior, and it says we do what we want to do. You've seen that. We do what we want to do. People do what they want. A major reason that we don't make progress is simply because we don't want it bad enough. Making changes and growing takes work, it takes energy, it takes emotional investment. And one of the reasons that we fail to reach our goals is because the struggle is just not worth it. We don't want it bad enough. We're not driven enough. So if you want to grow in some area, if you want to reach a goal, make sure that you cultivate a strong inner motivation. Motivation is something that can be developed, and you will need to develop it if you want to take your next steps in any given area. So today I've tried to give you a scheme for growing and reaching your goals. These 3 words will remind you of the 3 areas that you're going to need to develop. They also tell us the 3 reasons why most people fail in reaching their goals. If you want to take your next steps, you're going to need to develop the skills and need to develop the knowledge, and you're going to need to cultivate and develop some motivation. So go try it yourself. First, select a goal. It could be any goal. If you need help, our website has a whole list of areas for personal growth, professional growth, family growth. Also, I've done a video on making smarter goals. Let that help you to set and create a goal. After you've created the goal, identify the skills that you're going to need. Gain the knowledge that you're going to need. And cultivate the motivation that you're going to need to take your next steps.